Good. All right. So I'm San Juan Model Company. Uh, San Juan Model Company is kind of a conglomeration of a bunch of different companies that we've taken over the last couple of years. So more or less, who am I? I'm the owner operator, one of the owner operators of the company. I am a modeler, so I model in SN2, SN3, S standard gauge. Years ago, I began manufacturing with resin kits with Design Tech models that I took over from Doug Highcamp many years ago. For the most part, though, I run the shops here. I make the parts. I do the decal work here. I break when I fix stuff when I break it. I sweep the floors and clean the bathroom. So I run the shop here. And again, I live in Colorado here. We are in Colorado. We've moved everything to here. Just as a quick other thing, when I'm not here, I am out playing hockey. So 3 times a week, I am gone from over lunch hour to go play hockey. So I keep myself busy that way. And I'm also involved in the Colorado Railroad Museum. So I'm a trustee and actually secretary starting the first of the year of the board of directors for the Colorado Railroad Museum. So if you have any questions about that, anything like that, let me know. So quick timeline of San Juan Model Company. Back in 2017, Grant Line and San Juan had announced that they were going to be shutting down, or the businesses were for sale. So we had gotten together, talked about it. We're out at O-Scale West when we decided that we committed to do this. We had gone out and visited Grant Line. We had gone and talked to John Engstrom and that. So it was May of 2018 when we started this. Up until that point, I was working in the IT world. I did not have a background in plastic injection manufacturing, things like that. So we went out and spent about 8 to 10 weeks running the Grant Line shops. We went out there, worked with them. They trained us on doing stuff. We did a little bit of everything when we were out there. Then we packed it all up. So when we packed up the companies, we ended up moving between the two of them 11 28-foot trailers worth of equipment and product and anything else, and tooling, everything else that we moved here. The only thing we did not move ourselves was the plastic injection machines, the larger machines. Those were loaded by a rigging company and had to be moved here separately. So around the end of early 2019 is when we really started things. Started doing the manufacturing here, started doing all the decal work here, started doing everything here. And then mid 2000s, we decided to get involved with Rail Graphics, which is pretty much on the back burner right now. That should be 2020 there. Sorry, just noticed that. But we haven't really done too much with that just because of time. So who are we? We have American Limited Models, which, again, for the narrow gauge people, most people don't know who this is. I didn't know who American Limited Models were when I first started with this. We do a lot of diaphragms for passenger cars, diesels, a lot of other small details on HO and N gauge stuff on that side. We're also Grant Line, which will be rebranded to San Juan Details over a period of time. And that's based on a request from the family. We're not in a super hurry to do that, but you'll start seeing more of it as Grant Line Details. San Juan Car Company, company that was started by John Parker back in Durango. John Engstrom, Bob Statt took it over, moved it from Durango to California. Well, we moved it back to Colorado. Mostly O&3, O&30 stuff on that side, some standard gauge O-scale stuff also. San Juan Decals is the decal line that has been around forever, which I don't know the full history of, but I believe Jerry Kitts was the one who started this. So we do all our own decals. We print them all in shop here. We have a place to do that. and we do all our decal work in-house. And then we have the Leadville shops, which is laser cut. Right now we're doing some laser cut stuff. We have some brass castings. We have some decals that were actually printed by Rail Graphics, so it's kind of come full circle there. But we have a full line of some laser cut, more limited run stuff, not full production stuff. But overall, those are the companies that make up San Juan Model Company at this point. And if anyone has any questions, just jump in, feel free. A couple of things I want to say about some people. One, the volunteers people that we have in the model railroad community have been just unbelievably helpful for us. We couldn't have done this without any of them. You know, Jim McHenry, John Crawford, you know, Roy Johnston, Hugh Blaney. These guys come in to help us on a regular basis. Without them doing this, I could not do this myself. I could not do this with my wife, Kathy, who's also listed here because she has a full-time job. But these guys come in, help us run parts, run decals, pack stuff, just because they want to volunteer here. So the railroad community and the people in the area here have been extremely helpful. A lot of you who have called in and talked to you talked to Starla. Starla is actually my neighbor. She lives just down the street from me. She does an incredible job on the phones and knows nothing about model railroading. She came into this, had no idea what this stuff was, has learned everything on the go, and is just been spectacularly helpful for us. During COVID, she was able to work at home and answer phones and answer emails. And again, this week she came in today for a little while, but her kids started homeschooling again because they're going remote. So she's not in full time right now that she normally does. And she normally is here 3 days a week. Quick little bit of history here. This was the shop when we first started moving in here. So this was about 3 years ago. That's how we started out. This is what it looks like now. You can see there's obviously stuff on the walls and stuff like that, but the tables are full of parts, packing kits, stuff stacked that we were getting together and working on trying to get stuff together here. The display wall is stuff that we inherited from San Juan. So those are all models that we've gone through and cleaned them up a little bit, but those are all stuff that we've inherited from that. But this is our packing area. We usually bring parts up here to pack, and we work on stuff here. And then the two desks here. This is my desk. You can't really see here, which is good. And then this is where Starla is over here. The shop in the beginning, this was after we loaded the first stuff in that we shipped in from San Juan. This was again 3 years ago, and this is what it looks like now. Not even a walkway after we received the load of Conoco cars in, but this is the shop is the way it looks now. Again, overall, what we have here in the shop is we have 4 hand-operated plastic injection machines. The 3 of them came from Grant Line that were all built by Grant, by either Dave or by Cliff. And then from San Juan, we also acquired 1 other hand machine that was a Dingler built machine. John Dingler was a guy who built about 20 of these machines, and PBL has one. I know PSC has a couple of them. There are a bunch of them around that are still all in use on that side of it. We also have 3 Newberry injection machines, so 2 20-ton machines and then 1 60-ton machine. These machines were used originally by Grant Line. They came from Grant. We moved them here from Grant, but we have expanded where some of the San Juan parts we will now run on the Newberries, and we can move parts between machines, do things on that side. We have a place to do the screen printing for the permanent screens right now that are all part of San Juan decals. The stuff for Rail Graphics is still hasn't been all set up yet. we're just out of room right now until we do some things to rearrange it. We're pretty much out of space here. Then we have two laser cutters. We have a 70-watt Boss laser cutters that we do our cutting of our stuff. We have also started laser cutting the glass for the Grant Line windows. We started with the large scale stuff, and now we'll be doing the smaller stuff for the HO stuff, the O scale, the N scale stuff. We'll be offering laser cut glass for those too. We have that. We have a 30-watt laser also, and then a bunch of miscellaneous shop tools, drill presses, things like that that we do, that we use to do different things there. Got a couple of videos here I can show you of what the shops look like. So I'm gonna run through these real quick here. They're just real brief stuff, but you get an idea of what the shop looks like and what we do here on that side. And sorry about the music in the background, but that was what was playing in the background. This was right after we got in the Conoco cars. So when the Conoco's cars came in, we got between the O scale and HO, we got about 6,000 cars in. So we had to spread them out around the area here. So these are the Grant machines here. Sorry about that. That was the end of that video there. Let me.
Hey Doug, we're not seeing the video.
Yes. I'm sorry, what's that?
Oh, we're not seeing the video, Doug.
Oh, you're not seeing the video. Okay.
Yeah, Doug, you need to share, put a new share up there.
Okay, sorry about that. Let me pause this here and do that. You see the shop tour this from there, right?
Yeah, we see the list.
Okay, you see the list. Okay.
Yeah. Is it on the other monitor?
Yep.
Maybe.
No, it should be on the same monitor. So let me see where it is here. 1 second.
You need to do a new share.
Yep. That's what I'm looking at right here. Okay. New share. Okay, there it is. Okay. Do you see it now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So this is all, sorry about that. This is all our tooling. This is our bins for our tooling and stuff like that. These are most of the Grant Line larger molds here. San Juan molds are in another cabinet. The cabinets you see on the right there are all full of tooling. You'll see inside one of the drawers here. But each one of those contains about 20 to 25 pieces of tooling. So each drawer has that many pieces in it. This is my work area. I'm going to pause that real quick. This is where I actually assemble the molds when they go into the 20-ton machines. They take the regular Grant Line molds and they go into these different holders, and this is where I kind of put them all together. So I call this the jigsaw puzzle area because it is like putting a jigsaw puzzle together to put all the molds in the different holders and stuff. Nothing was ever documented from Grant, so everything was done by their internal knowledge. They all worked there their whole lives. So there were no books, no guides, no anything from Grant Line. It was, here it is, good luck, Godspeed, for the most part. I still do call them on a regular basis and ask them about certain molds or questions that I have about stuff. And they're great. I talked to Dave yesterday. I was texting with Liz here a little while ago. Today, they have been extremely supportive of us and want to see us succeed and answer our questions and help me out tremendously when I look at something and say, what in the world is this? And again, this is some more of the work areas, some of the molds, some of the bases there on different pieces of stuff there. These here are the two 20-ton Newberry machines. So these are our top-down machine. It's 20 tons of compression on the mold, and the injection runs usually around somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 PSI injection on there. Plastic gets heated up to somewhere around between 400 and 500 degrees. So machines do have some safeties and stuff built in, so you can't get the plastic all over you. It does burn when you get it on there. I've done that before, so. And that there is the 60-ton machine there. So that is a rear injection machine. Again, 60 tons of compression, used predominantly for the Grant Line structure line that we have from them. But believe it or not, some of the end scale windows are actually designed and shot on that machine. It's pretty spectacular to see those end scale windows come out on that big machine there, on that side of it. Let me see if I can. Well, I have to start a new share each time I start a new video.
Russ?
If you change
See.
screens, yes.
Do you see that video?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so this
we
is
got
the
it.
Boss. This is our laser cutter here. That's the Boss laser cutter. It's a 70-watt laser cutter, water cooled. We take and vent it outside when we're cutting. Luckily, it's on wheels. It's fairly easy to move around on that side. And these are the HON3 tank cars, the Conoco tank cars that we have. These are going quickly, and we'll talk about them in a little bit, but this is everything when we first got it in, before we started shipping most of this stuff. This video was done here. So this video is a couple weeks old here, but that is all of the tank cars. It's pretty impressive when you get in, when the truck shows up with all the videos on, all the tank cars on it, and you have to unload that. I'm just going to do one more video here real quick, just to get an idea of what we have there. And again, this is the decals here. So these cabinets are all full of our decals that are all pre-made, ready to go. So when we package them up and pull them out. Now we do a lot of the parts are available where they're or decals are in bulk also, because we do supply decals for other manufacturers also. So we do work for other manufacturers, and we do work for other manufacturers on the decal line and on the Grant Line parts on that side. So going on real quick, because I know we're top. What's new? We are reintroducing the Grant Line of HON3 trucks. We are having we have the wheels cut. We're having them cut on they're stainless steel wheels. We have a company here in town that we've worked with to design them and cut them. They're cut on a precision called Swiss machine. So they'll be all exact the same. They'll be assembled, tested, ready to go. We have somewhere about 175 sets of them in stock right now. They are not listed on the website yet. We're waiting for the next set of wheels to come in before we put them up there, so we don't put them up and get them out of stock again. But we should have them up there by the 2nd. They're going to retail for $18.95 a set for the trucks. The reason for the cost is the wheels. Having the wheels cut locally here, not being made anyplace else, is extremely expensive when you think about what they're doing.
That's for 2 trucks?
That's for 2 trucks, right? Yep.
That's a great price.
So, and we'll have all of the Grant Lines 3.7s, and we've kind of tweaked them a little bit, and they roll not quite as well as the Blackstones, but almost as well as the Blackstones do with the stainless steel wheels on them. The other thing we got new are the Conoco tank cars. So we have the Conoco tank cars O scale, ON3, ON30. When you order them, they come with both sets of wheel sets, just like the San Juan stuff in the past has. We have the HO3 is our first venture into the O&3 market. The HO3 tank cars are going extremely well, and we do have some numbers that are sold out. We have 4 different paint schemes on those with 9 different numbers each. So we have quite a stock of tank cars, but some of the numbers are getting out of stock at this point. We're also bringing back the Grant Line RGS Speeder in O&3. So years ago, Grant Line did a speeder. It was a motorized speeder. We have those back in production, and we have all the parts for those. They're assembled in boxes. We'll have those ready to go here rather shortly. And a lot of this stuff hasn't been available from Grant Line for quite a while. There was stuff that they would say, hey, we're not going to produce it anymore, and they just put it all in the back. When we moved everything and started packing it up, and some of the stuff was packed up before we even got out there. And we've gone through those and starting to bring some of that stuff back in production. They also had a O scale Denver Engineering ore car. And those were sold, I think, in 2 packs and single packs. So those are back in stock. We have those back in production, and we'll be selling those here soon also. A lot of people ask about the porters. We haven't even gotten to those boxes yet. That is a whole unbelievable number of parts and pieces and things like that that we just haven't been able to get to yet at this point. We haven't even unpacked the boxes. A lot of that stuff was packed up before we did anything there. Will we ever produce them again? I never say never, but I don't see a real demand for them or a reason to right now. If I can be talked into something different, great. We can do that. We have rims, we have axles, we have all those parts and pieces there. Probably take a few calls to Dave Grant on that to go through those pieces, but we do have all the parts to do that stuff and to do all the locomotives that they did, and a lot of other stuff too that they did. And you know, we are working and talking on other stuff with the American Limited line that we really kind of skipped over. We are also importing stuff from China ready to run. So we have done 2 or 3 different projects. We have a couple of others in the works over there that are also take up quite a bit of time that are non-narrow gauge. They're standard gauge stuff on that side. So the next thing we have coming up is the Trinity hoppers that we've done before. We're doing another run of those, and they should be here hopefully in the next 30 to 45 days. They have left the factory, and it's depending on how they get through the ports and things like that. So we are constantly designing things and doing things and working on things that are coming in from overseas. So it's not just, we don't just do the narrow gauge, although my background and Bob's background both are narrow gauge and both narrow gauge fanatics. The standard gauge stuff, the HO standard gauge stuff is rather easy to sell and sells rather quickly on that side of it. It's been an interesting experience for the last 3 years for me, and I look forward going forward.
Thank you very much. We are
Thank you.
looking forward to that as well.